All right, so that's so 7.3 talking about estimating a proportion. So again, as I've mentioned before in this chapter, we do not know the population value. So in this case, we do not know the true proportion for our population. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a confidence interval to estimate that proportion. And that's why this section is called estimating a proportion. So we have conditions to check, just like we did when we did chapter 6 on our normal distributions. So here are our conditions for a confidence interval for population proportion P. Okay, so the first condition is the random condition. You have to make sure that your data comes from a random sample from the population, a random sample from the population. Okay, again, the problem will say that. You'll just kind of restate the problem or the important words from the problem. And then number two, what we talked about in chapter 6 is the large counts condition. Now notice this time we have our p hat value here and your p hat value here. Again, must be at least 10 in both cases. This note right here. Again, because we don't know the population proportion, we can't use just p. We have to use our p hat, our sample proportion value. Okay, so be aware of that. Okay, so example 1, it says, how many red beads? So when Dr. Gadlowski's class did the beads activity, and unfortunately because of COVID, right, we did not do the beads activity, saves me from picking up all the beads you drop on the ground, but it is kind of a fun activity. They got 107 red beads and 144 other beads. Their point estimate for the proportion of red beads in the container is p hat equals 107 divided by 251 equals 0.426. Check if the conditions for calculating a confidence interval for P are met. So before we do that, again, this is their sample proportion value. So again, how they get 251? Well, that 251 is the 107 beads plus the 144 other beads. That's the 251. So again, that's how you find a sample proportion. If we were trying to find the sample proportion of red beads, we would take the number of red beads divided by the total. Okay, so this is our P value. So our P hat value is 0.426. And then our N value is going to be the total number of beads, which is the 251. Okay, so first condition is the random condition. Is that met? Well, it doesn't say it in the problem, but if we did the activity, in the activity it said pick a random sample of beads. So we're gonna put here from activity random sample of beads. Okay. And again, usually they would have something written in the problem. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay. All right, and then number 2 is the large counts condition. Large counts. So here's where we do our n times p, 4.26 or 0.426. 0.426, and we should get something like this: 251 times 0.426. 251. I'm in a backwards mode right now. And I got 106.9. That's fine. 107's fine. Again, it should be these number of red beads. And then we do n times 1 minus p. And I got 144.1 or 144. Again, remember that these two numbers should add to your 251. Both of them are at least 10. So the random condition is met. The large counts condition are met. So these conditions are met. And we could follow through with the problem. All right, so that's objective 1. Very similar to your chapter 6 stuff with the large counts. Just have to add that random condition in there as well. All right, next objective's coming.